to
I
put your master to the test. If he is worthy of your service, he will accept you as who you are.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm
And I will be there with you, beside you all the way, whatever you decide.
I'm going to tell him. Yeah, I just
Besides,
yeah.
look at him. He is a giant fire breathing lizard.
He
And yet
is
he walks with
different.
confidence among people who should be terrified of him. His power doesn't come from his muscles, mostly. It comes from his confidence. He is a baron because he says he's a baron and he acts like it. Well, mostly. I don't have a lot of experience
Along
with
with some
barons.
circumstance, yes.
Yes. He commands not because he demands, but because he leads by example. I saw him fight. He is a good dragon kin, I suppose that might be the most accurate term.
That seems fair.
I don't want to insult him or call him a man, because I've seen lesser men. I've seen many a lesser man. And either him or you will fall in that category. You saw he was there and you fought the horrors. Maybe you're thinking that your talents are wasted in politics and whatnot. But think about this. You spend years here. If you stop running, you can make a home for yourself. And I think my home is, if you have me, wherever you are. And her voice sort of trembles a little bit. It's like what she says is like she's basically confessing to you,
Yeah, yeah.
without actually
Uh,
saying. I mean, I would not suggest you do so in public, I hear, of course, but in
yeah.
private. And if he's stupid enough to say that you are not good enough for him, then he's not good enough for anybody. After all, who is he to judge a creature, person like him would mostly be hunted down anywhere else? Must be luck that he was not carved and his head put in a pipe for some reason. I've seen the looks that he gives in some people on the street. Some of them are terrified of him, but others are in awe.
All right. Well, I think I see what you're saying, and I
I mean, I'm sure that if you ask him politely, he will respect you don't want to be exposed to the world. I think he can respect that.
the also you know I could never say no to having you around.
And she blushes and is like, yes, please do tell me more sweet things. Don't stop, don't stop. You're fine.
I couldn't say no to someone that's so otherworldly. But you're right. At least in private, I will tell him and
I mean,
whoever else happens to be
ultimately,
there.
I,
And
I understand why you're afraid.
if
Where we come from, they can be very harsh and judgmental. But you walk around with a giant tortoise, a dragonborn, a mouthy human noble that has some weird outer tentacle
I don't really
infatuation,
get it either.
and a one-arm elf. So you're not really the weirdest thing that they've probably ever seen, are you?
And I guess the tailor manages to do it. So
Well, he's someone who is able to carve a niche himself. Rich people are willing to tolerate everything if they can get a benefit from it. But they can also turn on you very quickly.
well, once we're all in one place, pick yeah, once we're all in one place, I in private, and then if that continues to the rest of the people here, well, we'll see.
think we're gonna have a sec. They said something about ice cream. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna try it out.
It's a dessert.
Ah, ice. How did they manage that?
I barely know what it is actually. All I
Hmm.
know is it's a dessert because it says so right there.
Oh, well, that's you're paying, so.
Sure am. Well, we can both try it, I guess.
Mhm. So you
Yeah,
spend the rest of the night,
yeah,
having a nice dinner and whatever else. We can, close the curtain on that one, unless you
yep,
want to do something
that's
more.
fine. That's fine.
And then early in the morning, Marcus, you're doing your rounds, right?
Yep.
Eventually, you end up. Actually, you're so early that the office of your advocate is still closed, so you're waiting for them there.
Oh no, I wouldn't start with the advocate. I
Okay.
would start with the religious part first,
Oh, okay. Which
then do advocate.
which house are you gonna visit?
What are the options?
I mentioned three: Hieronymus, Saint Cuthbert, and Tritherian. Um,
Flytherian.
okay. It's actually you can make a religious check if you have religion. If you don't, then
I think I do, but I'm just not the greatest at it.
mhm.
No, I don't.
No, don't. Yeah, you might know history that
Yeah.
you know the basics, right? That Tritherian is the deity not of revenge, but of justice and essentially it's bounty hunters and those who put freedom first, freedom over
Oh,
the law.
yeah, that's exactly where
That's
I'm
right
going.
here. So yeah, it is ironically not a modest building. It's one of the largest temples in the city, and but you see a lot of guards. These people are well armed and equipped, even though they're supposed to be about all freedom. There also seem to be some kind of militant order, and their tabards have a three-sided symbol um, called the rune of pursuit in their chest. And they, as you come in, they say, "Hello, brother. What can we do for you this fine
Well,
morning?"
um, I was recently in an encounter, and I think it was dealt with on this side, but I wished to inform someone within the city who may want to take note of it to be aware, in case follow-up action ever is needed to be taken.
You do come in.
Of course, yes. I think this. I'm coming early to actually
Mhm.
to speak with somebody who would have some control because it was with something pulled from the demonic planes or devilish. I think it was devilish.
I think you have come to the right place. Tritherian is a master of summonings, and we'll see to that you are well taken care of. Come in.
Wonderful. Yep, and I follow.
You are led inside, and it says we do have a visiting priest from the west. From the west.
Wonderful.
Um, ah, and you're let in, and you see an older man, probably now in his 60s. Basically has a sort of like a monkish haircut, right? So it's bald on the top and then hair on the round, and it's the hair is very almost gray white. And he gets it. It's like he seems to be once a man of great strength and probably thin, thick of muscle. Now in his 60s, he's a little bit more corpulent, but seems somebody who still is broad shoulder. For a priest, he looks like somebody who could
He could fight.
he can still fight. And you notice also that all the priests here, most priests in most places have cudgels or clubs. Here, everybody has swords and spears.
Wonderful.
And in fact, he has a sword, and the sword is laying on it. Like, yes, welcome. My
Thank you.
name is Ty of Fritherian. What can I do for you? And he's actually
Well,
rather tall, right? He actually, he is broad and tall, almost as tall as Kix, but he's clearly
yeah.
human. Yeah,
Like I'm 5'11".
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
above like average height
yeah.
height for a male. Well, I was recently doing some investigation work,
Mhm.
and me and some companions stumbled upon a summoning circle that pulled up a devil, and I happened to have his name. Now, we did dispatch it from wreaking any further havoc, but there was also statues to different deities and things like that, and I just don't want it to become a problem for the city. But I will be completely truthful. It was not my estate that this happened on, so I wanted to go to someone who may handle it in a proper fashion.
Politics, I don't really care anything about those things, to be honest. If evil
Sure.
is set and seen,
Yeah.
especially when they talk about the work of devils, it needs to be dispatched as soon as possible. You have done Friteria's work, my boy. I
Well-
appreciate that. He appreciates that.
If there is an informal award, I will gladly accept it, but the name of this devil is Ardor.
Ardor.
Big,
face my.
circular, round eye that stopped magic from working.
Oh, that sounds like a beholder to me. Looks like it'd be pretty nasty. I've met a couple of them in my time. Did I mention once that I also was searching for the lost arcane? That was a great adventure. And we start talking about, you can do a history check on him, because when you hear Tide Tritanium, that sounds familiar.
15.
Yeah, you heard of Tide Tritanium was a member of a band that used to adventure in the city of Greyhawk about 20 years ago in this region. But what's interesting is supposedly last time he was here, he in fact was out west fighting giants. And there's a particular story in which he and his companions were fighting giants, and he was in the high tower, and he had a necklace of missiles, and he literally was throwing these magical fireballs down on the giants, while the giants were throwing large rocks at him and nearly topple him from the tower. Eventually, apparently, he married somebody out there, a very important in the what's called the County of Jeff. And he seems to be a high priest there. What does he do in the city now? You have no idea, because it was visiting, right? So it's like, yes.
Was that out in the county of Jeff? I believe it was.
Oh! You heard about that story?
I have some base knowledge. I do come from a historian, family myself. When you're involved with artwork, you tend to learn a thing or two.
Well, it's like, I'll tell you that anything that it say about what happened with the rod it's a lie. It's an exaggeration.
I understand.
You can roll against history when it says the rod. It's like, what are you mentioning the rod?
Oh yeah. The best part about Marcus is I don't have to write down information that I would not be interested in. So.
Yeah, rod. You heard about the famous rod of 7 parts.
Ooh.
But this guy doesn't look like the kind of. I mean, he's older, I suppose. Maybe when he was younger. The kind that at least by himself would deal with such things. But it's like the less I say about it, the better. It's makes right.
7 is an odd number, but we do not need to go into that specifically.
No, it's my mind sometimes wanders to the past. And
of course,
my mouth gets the best of me. Yes. Well, I shall have some of the younger brothers investigate. You have the place this where this happened?
Yes, 100%. I will give them the address.
Yes. I will encourage the brothers to cut their teeth in their investigation down there.
Additionally, I don't think it should ever be needed.
Mm-hmm.
But I am technically fighting to prove that I'm alive and not lying about who I am.
Oh.
So if I do need to call upon witness to be of character, would that be suitable? You do not have to accept, of course, but I am just curious.
What? You seem of the noble type, and let's be honest. One of the reasons why I'm here is I try to get a vacation from my relations. My wife's relations is.
Hold on. I can clarify that. Yes, I am from nobility. However, I have spent the last 5 years on a damn tropical island running from Yonti.
Oh,
And I was
kind of-
only saved because of a deity not from this region, naturally.
so
I
so
don't
you
give a
you were
shit
in
about nobility.
a man after my heart.
Deep
Re-
Seychelles.
oh yes, the Elven Pantheon.
Yes, you
Yes,
spoke to me through a whale and saved my life.
that sounds very elvish. Yes, I'm afraid. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I had my run-ins. Well, Tritherian likes to hang around those dopes. He loves the elves when they're not being haughty idiots, which is half and half. You never really know. But
True.
otherwise, he likes the freedom and the creativity. And one time, I think their chief deity invited him to a hot tub of some sort. I'm not really sure. I don't ask a lot of questions. I'm not. It's you see when you get to be me seeing the thing. Sometimes the deities decide to just share these random thoughts, like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell this mortal about this thing that happened because I'm lonely in my plane of existence." I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah." I mean, it's not like you can say no. I mean, you can, but it's rude, So yeah.
I am very happy that my deal did not make me one of clerical studies because that would drive me insane.
Well,
I can just I have gifts
Tritherian,
that they just work. I don't know how
Tritherian,
they do, but they do.
Tritherian is a deity of action. You do, and he supports you. If you don't, he kicks the hell out of you. It's like, get out. I have no time for you. But that's neither here nor there. But yes, I shall encourage some of our new acolytes to go and check it out, as they young like to say.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. So I also I'm afraid that if I'm not really much welcome in the courts of Greyhawk on account that
Perfectly fine.
I do have a history with the ruling council here.
I just thought I would check.
Good one. So, but yes, I wish you well in this. What? No, but I just really. Okay. Yes, if you need me to be a character,
I'll
I'm
only do it
sure.
if I have to. However, I will give you one last piece of information.
Go ahead.
Looking around the crypt space, I did not notice any strange writing in weird languages that might lead to curses or
No.
really unfortunate clues for anything. One of the gifts I've been given is that I can read most anything that I come across, even if I cannot speak it.
Interesting. Well, if I do have anything important that needs to be deciphered, I guess I need to find that. Do you have a place here in the city, perhaps?
Currently we're staying at the Sleeping Giant, but
Oh,
I am with
I love the
I get to
giant.
spend a lot of
Yes.
time with him.
Yes.
That's another messed up problem that came from my time on the island. But
I love that ogre. I mean,
when I'm
I
not in the city, I am connected to Baron Kix of I believe the Shield.
let's see. Let me see. Actually, remember.
Dragonborn Baron.
Oh yes, I've heard of him. I'm very curious to see a dragon. I haven't seen a dragonborn in years.
Great fellow. Good time.
What is he doing in the city? If I'm no. You don't have to tell me. No, that's probably private. I don't need to know. After all, he's a
It
baron.
is private.
Yes,
However,
my curiosity got the best of me. So I apologize.
yes, that is information I'm willing to possibly deal with down the road.
No, I shan't be staying too long in the city. I need to go back to my darling wife and children and grandchildren.
Oh.
I'm expecting a great grandchild soon.
You don't look a day over 50. That's incredible.
Well, you see, once I drank this potion and it knocked out a couple of years back, and it's been good. But I was warned never to drink another one, otherwise I would suffer the consequences of, losing the years that I gained. And
I
also,
fear,
the Great Criterion has watch over me.
I
Uh,
fear if I ever do get married, it will only be because of status and political movements. But that's by choice.
Well, that's how my marriage started. They needed someone to fill in the back. They needed, a special guest at the wedding, I suppose, which is mostly
Oh.
what but it's I suppose husband to be usually is, But she is a good woman. She is a good heart.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad, and I wish the best for you and your family and your children and your to-be grandchild.
Yeah. Great grandchild, actually.
Yes, of course. Great. Sorry again. The youth shook me. I could not believe it.
Of course, you're a sly one, aren't you?
I have to be because I'm in the city.
Well,
See, when I left, I was a pompous boy who was being taught to be a merchant.
there's
I
no
have to
life in
come back
being.
as the same in order
There's
to go
there's
under the
no
radar a bit.
there's no love in being a merchant. It's only coin and speculation
No.
and backstabbing. And
You are so true. However, that's the image that I put on when I.
my father wanted me to become a merchant back when I was living in the Wild Coast. But I said, no, there's orcs to slay and lives to avenge. That's how my career started. Hunting down those
Yes.
who wouldn't harm others. Then I
All,
went all over the place for some reason.
all I know is I need to seek some great knowledge. Don't know where it is, but I'll get there. That being said, you have a busy day.
Oh,
I have to go speak with a
surely.
barrister.
Ah, yes.
So I will
Wish you,
tee off.
wish you the most of luck. I avoid those people like the plague.
Oh, I'm only doing it because I have to. And I will walk out like the hoity-toityest person in the world.
And you can sense that he's smiling from ear to ear. That he knows that you're faking it, right? And it's like, yeah, good boy, yeah, yes, I know, yes.
Yeah.
You don't know really sure that he's all there. I mean, he claims he's hearing
Why
the
I
voice.
like him.
He claims that he's hearing the voice of his deity, but anybody can say that. So there it
Dude,
is.
I was rescued by a whale. I'm I'm fine with what's going on with him.
You know. So yeah, that's what it is. So let's go to your barrister, and
Yep.
she is waiting. But let's make this somewhat short. She says that she has a court date in 2 days.
2 days.
But she has not heard any. She's put all the paperwork and all that, and usually there's a chance for somebody to put up a challenge. And she was expecting some kind of legal challenge, but she never got it because she's been reviewing. One of the things she's doing is doing research, and someone has always challenged, the takes on the property before. But now nobody has done it, and she's like, she is curious about it, but she doesn't ask you about it. It's like the less she knows, the better.
Like my response is simple. I guess we got lucky this time.
Whoever it was probably got tired of throwing away their money, which is good for you and me.
Absolutely, it is. Of course.
I mean, I get paid anyway, but I like to get
Yes.
happy clients are good clients.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Okay. With that, no, not from you. You've done a wonderful, wonderful job. I know my next steps are just being alive again and possibly getting into a political marriage for the sake of Greyhawk.
Oh, nothing. That seems. Oh wow, yes, that sounds like my father.
Oh, and again, like I know my position. I am here to be of service to greater purpose, and unfortunately, you have to play certain games.
I don't envy you. I really, really don't.
Oh God, no one should envy me. Either way, I'm gonna go see if I can have some fun for the day and make a little bit of money on the side.
Well, enjoy. We'll see you
I
2 days
will.
early in the morning at the courthouse.
Lovely.
Be at your best behavior and your best tailored best clothing. It's good to impress the
course.
judge. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I will do is I would like to book passage.
Mhm.
To hard by.
Okay.
However, I want to book it on a like a cargo ship. I want to
Okay.
book
I
it in
mean,
a case where I will have to work, like where I can work to help cover part of it.
mhm.
And then I am proficient in weaver's tools.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what I would
The
like to
the ships
do,
here are usually they're river barges, although there's some larger ships as well that can go upstream.
yeah,
So you can easily find it. Call the river quarter, which is it's over here, right here.
perfect. So
So
what I'll actually do is I'll take advantage of the fact that I do have like the sewing and the weaver's stuff down
Mhm.
to find a way using my position of privilege to book the passage in exchange for fixing their clothing, working on sales, stuff like that
well, they'll just hire you as a member of the crew.
for the voyage. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll absolutely do that.
Mhm.
I will
Okay. So
also inform Kix, like inform the group of the fact of like the book of like the time, and so they can be involved if they want.
Right.
And then
Mhm.
I will indeed in the city until that happens, which will be the day after the trial. I will indeed just work and make some money weaving.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Downtown activity. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we covered everybody. We can fast forward to the trial itself.
Hell yeah. How
Unless
much
any
money do I make
in 2 days.
in 2 days?
Uh, uh, Not much money actually. That's a downtown activity, right? That's you're using your mm,
Actually, hold on. Could I leverage my position of privilege to teach weaving to house servants for the rich, so I get more money than I normally would?
yeah, but that would take more time. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
if that's the case, yeah, I'll just go with the base
that's
then.
a yeah, that's basic that because if you're um yeah, but they would forget the next day, so
I love it. I love the arguments, but I'll go with just the base.
carousing, we have crafting item, crime, gambling, research, work. Uh, to determine how much money a character earns, the character makes an ability check. So with wages tables, is how much money generated by the checks total. It depends on what you're looking for. You want to earn as much money as possible.
Yes.
Okay. Roll your. In this case, would be your craftsmanship, which I think would be your dexterity, I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I do have proficiency because of weavers. 8, not good.
You
I
basically
rolled. I rolled
yeah.
bad. I rolled a
You earn
2.
you basically chop yourself around, and basically you get there's actually a guild that does that. Like there's a guild for everything. And since
Yeah.
you're not a member of the guild, the jobs that you get is like so you basically get a couple of coppers. So you get basically 2d4 plus your charisma on coppers.
Oh, I give that away. That's not gonna
Yeah.
help me for shit. I give that
Yeah.
away to fucking street kids.
Yeah, you're basically you're doing off the books non-guild work, and guilds
Yeah.
are very jealous of that, and nobody wants to mess with the guild. So
Not a problem. I fully accept that.
Mhm. So sadly, you did not score. But in 2 days, in the meantime, Kicks and Barakat. Barakat, are you gonna do that here in Greyhawk, or are you waiting where you're back on the keep to talk?
I'll probably just I'll probably do it once we're all back at the keep since Lael's already gone.
Mhm.
As I guess it would still be the morning.
Mhm.
Can I just can I get them to bring food to whatever room?
Yes.
Room service.
Yes.
Like,
Room
See
service. Yes.
Kicks with this random guy. Just like, all right then.
Mhm.
Well, you can come say
You have
hello.
you have your own room, so you're not gonna
Yeah.
get interrupted. So I guess you wake up later, and you see some people ask some questions of Kicks, and essentially they came very early, so you wake up a couple of hours later. In fact, you see this
Yeah.
very strange scarred. Well, actually, is Alexander always wearing their armor? Unless is that a
Is he eating?
no? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see waiting in the, downstairs this heavily armored figure with a bucket helmet and everything else.
Food.
Very.
Huh.
And in the earlier, once the morning crowd of people who are staying the night eat and get their breakfast, they go and do whatever they're going to do. So it's empty right now, except for you and a few of the serving staff, and of course the ogre behind the counter. Nancy Patsy he bows slightly to your
I
companion
guess.
and says something in Bakunish. Oh, Bakunish. I was like, "Good morning, my lady." And she sort of looks at him weirdly. And it's like, and turns a little. Again, she blushes a little bit. I apologize. Did not mean to disturb you. I will keep my peace. And sort of retreats a little bit. And she's like, she wants to say no, like she wants to be polite, say no, but she was taken aback, right? And she's like, and she kind of hides behind you, like little kids do sometimes when they're caught off guard, right? It's like she doesn't want to be impolite, but she doesn't know how to react, so she becomes more clingy, around you, takes your arm. It's like
I'm gonna look over at him and be like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then
my
I guess I'm
apologies.
gonna go over to Kix and see if he's good, because he's just sitting with this dude. I don't know. I don't know. He didn't ever exactly have any meetings or anything planned.
Mm-hmm.
At least he didn't
So
tell you about it. Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna walk over, hit him on the shoulder. Okay, Alexander. Okay, what the fuck kind of spelling is that? Didn't even know.
A very edgy one.
That
Well,
is,
I mean, it's more of a
it's more Russian than anything
Yeah,
else
it's
over
more
here.
Russian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking northerner.
Well, no, I was playing the Warhammer 40K campaign at the time, so that's where it came from.
Yeah. Well, very, very Russian. Yeah.
Fucking
It fits. It fits.
communism.
Alternative.
Walk over,
Cousin Nico.
the shoulder.
Let's go bowling.
Then we go to bar. And
So before we go bowling, Bearcat, you're approaching.
Yeah. Hey, Hicks, how's it going? You all right?
Yes. Let me introduce you here. This is Alexander. He's a former friend of Braith, and I've been appraising him of a couple of ideas I've been having. Regarding this book that we found before, and some different plans we could do with it.
Which
I think
book?
you've heard of. Yeah. I think I've told you about it a few times already, haven't I? We could hit the gold shipments, especially now that we might know where they are.
And friend
So
of
I've been asking Alexander to give me his expertise as he's come to me.
friend of Braith in like, were they serving or just like friends at some point?
I am right here. By the
Yeah.
way, I have to say, I've been in the city a number of days now, and I attended your concert the other day, and it was the greatest thing I think I have ever seen. I have
Ah.
partaken of a number of, I say concerts, but I don't know what in your parlance you might call it. And they are, typical fashion. But, my god, I feel like I wept that night.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll insight. Just because I
Oh, by the way, you were not there, so you don't know what happened during that night. You came back. This is the morning after the incident. You don't see Gar anywhere, which is not entirely strange, but yeah.
Well,
Also,
was
I doubt he cares.
actually awake at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for whatever they asked me for, but I've already forgotten, so
Bearcat really feels like the character who wouldn't give a fuck. But Gar didn't come back ever again? Cool.
Oh, well, he got what he deserved. That's kind of a shame, though. Wizards are useful, but it's whatever. Fucking that guy.
So you're inciting me, the friend of Braith.
Yep.
How
Yes.
funny.
Got a 15.
Truly, it does come full circle.
Tell me, what are you reading from my body language? Though I'm standing at full attention like a soldier might, and I'm fully armored, not showing anything.
Yeah, I'm listening for intonations in the voice of how much you're trying to, like, how much you're really saying, and how much is get on the guy's good side or whatever,
I literally am telling you the truth.
Alright,
I come from a single father family I have siblings, I have a wife, I have a normal life, and I'm just a normal guy telling somebody, hey, I loved the concert.
alright, cool. So how did you know Braith?
We served in the military for quite some time. We were in a number of battles together, and he saved my life.
I see. Well, any friend of Braith is certainly a friend of ours.
Yes. They were together in Macho Grande.
Okay.
You already got the reference.
God.
Alright, then. That's something. Alright, I see. Well,
I'm like people's grandpa now, so those
it's-
jokes really just fall off on me.
what do we have anything that we're doing still?
Well, there's a question of what you're gonna do with the body.
The ceiling?
The
Oh,
body.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it in passing, oh yes, we're going to go ahead and bury it in the city, and just kind of hand waved it. But
That's
Yeah, no,
probably
that-
not the way that
we
you
more
want to
expressly
handle a
handle that.
corpse.
yeah.
The city has laws and regulations about how
We
you
wanna just
dispose
go
of a
into the middle
body.
of the street and start opening up a hole.
Excuse me, sir, do you have a permit to dig here?
Right.
Well, yeah, people come from the morgue basically, and they say they go to you about, and there's a couple of humans and an elf, and they go. In fact, they recognize Alexander because they are from the Church of Ouija's, right? And they say, "I believe you have a corpse to bury." Is that correct?
That's right.
Yes.
What?
Do you know his denomination?
He has none.
I feel like I must be a very confusing figure to people of church.
Yeah.
Churches.
Yeah.
We
Well,
have a
my
corpse to bury?
symbol. Anybody who would roll religious on me would recognize that my symbol is not one symbol.
Yes, they do. That's why they're not really. You recognize them because you have been, you're a member of church, even though under the strange circumstances. But they're not really talking to you. They're not being rude to you either. But
They're
like,
being confused.
Yeah,
They're
I'm saying you would look at if you were from the Church of Ouija's and you look at mine, you would say, why did you put that on her symbol? And the other side, other people would look at me like, what is that huge thing behind our symbol?
Don't think too much about the triangle.
He's double dipping on churches. Crazy.
You'd think a lot of people would do that, though. To be fair.
I mean, generally, people worship all the deities that are, they don't.
Mhm.
It's multi-pantheon. They will go to, for one thing, they will go to one god. For another thing, they'll go to another god. Right? Only those who are dedicated to one god are more monotheistic, but only because they prefer that god, right? And they're chosen by them. But everyone else is like, oh, I'm gonna go gambling. I'm gonna, maybe drop a couple of coppers at this deity. I'm gonna.
Right.
It's
I
a day.
think
Sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's also the double down confusion that I'm a paladin. I'm getting my
Yeah.
powers from somewhere.
Paladins don't actually even have to have a god, like at all, for any of them.
Well, I mean, technically, because the gods can strip you of your powers, so
Yeah, well,
your
it's
power is still divine in nature. It still comes
it's
from.
divine nature, but you don't actually have to like worship a specific deity or anything to have paladin powers.
I mean, you're supposed to.
Well, you don't have.
Back in like Greyhawk setting, it was a strict
like-
line. Nowadays, the line's blurred, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're still
Yeah.
supposed to follow a god and have their alignment, and they can still strip you of your power.
Yeah, but you certainly don't have to anymore within current mechanics. But yeah, so body? What?
yes, right up here, and you'll end up seeing that Gar is dead.
Oh fuck. Huh.
With his head cut off and his eyes lifeless.
What in
Kix will just like give you a look of like, I'm not even sure myself, but
I have to
return
wonder,
the-
only
return to the
because
Weejass folk.
only because I only had the viewpoint of Gar, at how many people would wonder, is this one of Gar's plans? Is Gar going to come back? Something.
If Gar
Yeah.
has a plan, that's his own problem right now, I think.
well,
Basically, they have a stretcher and they cover the body respectfully, and they see that. In fact, these people are so well prepared that actually have a box for his detached head. Like we should, and they sort of they don't grab it and throw it in. They sort of gently scoop it up and close the lid. It's like, would this be a burial or a cremation? So,
Hmm.
no, they don't slam the lid either.
I'm thinking for half a second, like, what would the necromancer think?
Also, by the way, how heavy and massive Gar is going to be a real challenge for two
I have to
guys.
stop and go, we're
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
need to bring in four other dudes.
they bring more people.
I
in.
think necromancer would go with burial, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go with burial on this one.
I always think of that Doctor Who episode where, they simulate the afterlife, and if you got cremated, you just burn. In the
Oh,
afterlife,
Jesus.
you burn.
Rip.
I remember the one where it's like your personality is saved on a chip on your neck, so after you die, you still keep walking around for a bit. I'm just like, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah, the library.
Yeah, great little horror premise though, but still goofy.
So what they do is, because they have a stretcher and they have to literally stretch the stretcher to make sure that he doesn't fall. They have 4 people, so each one guy carries a handle. Like,
Yeah.
they're having some problems. And let's say,
Yeah, and right now we're talking business, like, oh, how much is it for the plot and for how long?
What if we do
Oh.
the cremation? How much cheaper is that?
you say that to them?
No, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
At-home cremation, how much is that?
Here, I'll start the fire here in the inn. Throw.
Oh
Do you-
dear.
Have you allowed for notarization to the authorities? That would be 25 gold for the notary public to ensure his death certificates, and the plot will be another 10. The 10 is simply a matter of a donation to the church, so we can take care of those who are less fortunate in their most time of need and their last time upon the mortal plane.
I see.
I believe that will be a total of 35 gold pieces.
Alright, Kix will go ahead and start counting it out, and as he is like, what about inscriptions?
Oh, you
I
have
suppose
to.
that would be on the tombstone or something.
Yes,
correct?
you'll have to talk to the tomb carvers over at the cemetery.
Hmm.
I'm afraid we do not do that ourselves. It's
I
the-
see.
And one of them sort of talks to us like, yes, we should have the body embalmed and ready in a few days. Wish to see it one last time.
Alright. Well, I'll be there in just a few days then.
you.
I should still be in town.
And you notice that they've done some rituals and like that. So, he died at 2 in the morning. By this time, the body should have started decaying, but
Not so fresh anymore.
But they've done some ritual or something to preserve it, right? So we have done the basics. We just as giving us guidance. We will take our leave, sir. And they,
Thank-
they walk away.
Mhm.
Now I would also suggest that if there's any questions over this, you should clear with the city guard. Although we have not heard any rumors of undue procedures, it is best to clear any and all mysterious debts with them.
Of course. They've already been by this morning.
I see. Good morning, sir. And they carried it. Like, you can hear the acolytes go like, it took 4 of them to just carry it down. Yeah.
It's like we're all here trying to handle it with dignity and then just a circus on the way out.
Just like, God damn, this guy's so much more heavy than we thought. Oh, God.
Who knew 600 pounds of the turtle would be so hard to move?
This is my first turtle. May the and you start, and as they leave, he starts chanting. Well, actually, yeah, I think Alexander knows Suel, so yeah, it's old Suel, ancient Suel.
Actually, I don't.
You know the religious aspect of it.
I get spoken to in Celestial, so
Okay.
I know Celestial.
Yeah, no. So
Which confused me for a second because I thought Marcus knew Celestial and realized I was thinking about the Pathfinder game. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
a
they-
separate thing
so-
altogether.
So anybody who knows
Marcus
Suel
does
will
know Celestial.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a conversation.
So yeah, they walk away. So yeah, you just noticed that they carried it out of the body of Gar.
Probably would have weighed less if you made some soup.
Oh.
But he is a turtle.
It's that it wasn't salted, so it would have been rotten.
Well, he got salt in him. He's a living being. He can't survive without salt.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was a 90% salt.
So, Hicks, do we have any other business here?
Well, like I said, with these plans right here, I intend to show them to one of our good friends. I think actually maybe you've met him. And I'm trying to find like the dwarf ambassador again because I got to keep looking for him all the time.
I know who. I'm the first guy who talked to him, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So you would
Yeah.
know who he is.
I know him.
I plan to appraise him of this plan because if you look in this book, it actually mentions that there's a dwarven stronghold that used to be there, and I think he may be interested in it and our plans,
Seems
which
like
might mean he could back us for it.
I see. Well, if we have some time at some point, I'd like to talk to everyone for a little bit.
Well, I believe Marcus should be back in after he's done dealing with his barrister, but Lael has gone back over, has returned home.
Has he?
Yeah.
Wait, when did he do that?
Well, just this morning.
Oh. Well. Huh.
Yeah, like I would have stopped in after after barrister before doing the stuff with weaving. So
Well,
Mhm.
I guess I can tell Lael whenever we get to
All right.
see him again.
Well, if you want to wait for everyone, then yes, it will be a few weeks, I'm afraid.
So when Marcus is back, need to talk
Right.
to you two.
So let's go ahead and advance to Marcus returning, like with a basket in his hand.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
it's not even with the basket in my hand. Like this is right after barrister. I come, I make sure that I'm good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's go ahead. We'll meet in Kix's room, and
So you're all there.
so what is the big announcement?
Hicks. Well,
You getting married to her after all?
not yet.
She's right there. She's like,
not,
"Are
not,
you?"
But well,
If it's a big announcement, I have to assume.
not
You
quite
did say
yet.
yes.
It did just say yet. That is a fact.
That's good to know.
That is a specific thing that I just said. Well, you see, I've told you to refer to me as Bearcat for since I met you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not my real name.
It's not.
Nope. It's more somewhat like a stage name, one might say. But I figure we've gone through quite a bit, and considering the current position of us, I think I should tell you the truth of things.
Well, given that you have this wonderful, beautiful lady following you around, I suppose I could only expect as much.
Okay,
So,
then.
let's hear it. What level of prince are you?
Oh God. No comment. No
What?
comment. No comment. Um,
He's a prince of hell.
sure. Well, who knows? But yeah, he starts taking off the whole thing,
Mhm.
and my actual name is no, my actual name is Axios Kyrakis. And let me see if this will work.
Of the Kyrakis family.
Oh yeah, the spice farmers.
Look
Yeah.
out, he has a gun.
History, bro. Yeah, just roll history, just straight off that single name. Yep, for sure.
Hey, you never know.
It's better than the Atreides. Wait, too soon.
Yeah, but no, can you spell it?
I don't know if I'm spelling this right. Let me
What's
check.
your name?
I know, but it. Yeah, okay, I did spell this right.
Let me check the Dune wiki real quick.
Wow, that took a second to come through.
Yeah, and I will put it in the Discord because I can. And he's a young tiefling guy with some kind of long hair, actually. So yeah, he's just kind of. And I forgot a letter. He's yeah.
Well, it's definitely shorter than Bearcat.
Launching. Yeah, it sure is. No longer a bear and also a cat.
Yeah, Kix just like strokes his chin and goes, "You really had all that hair under there the whole time. I'm amazed, actually."
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you hear her, so like cover him. I was like,
Marcus will offer out a handshake.
Yeah, I shake his hand.
Pleasure to meet you, Axios.
You too. And at least to Marcus, right? This situation is probably slightly more clear. But there's the whole religion, noble woman. That's still there, right?
100%.
But he has definitely just, completely lied to your face for the past however long.
Of
So
course.
Oh shit, I forgot to change the day.
This doesn't
Yeah.
phase Marcus one bit. There's no need to read into it.
yeah, sure.
He's living a lie outside of you guys and his immediate family right now, and he's told you about it. Like,
In which
he
case,
understands lying for a purpose.
though, Kix's reaction is going to be, well, either Akios or Bearcat. Since the moment that we've met you, you've been nothing but a helpful friend, and you've gone out of your way more times than I can count. I'm just glad that you finally have decided to tell us.
I
Well-
want to make
Aw.
an insight check on Kix. I want to see if he is truly this simple.
Don't ruin the moment. He is.
I
Oh
know.
boy.
He is.
Straight up, like,
Well,
I got an 8.
Oh,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Kix has no further underlying motivations at all.
Oh,
And
no.
she steps in and puts her hand on Axios' shoulder. Yes.
Oh, also, Marcus would probably recognize that name from beforehand.
Oh,
Yeah, tell us about the name.
That
Yeah,
is the Clunish name that you heard specifically.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a little more commonized, I guess. But
he wouldn't have paid attention to that crap.
all right, well,
I said.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Clunish
no.
name that has, I don't know, maybe significance. Who knows?
She puts her hand on Axios' shoulder and says, "The reason I believe, and I'm being so bold at explaining why he would hide himself, is because where we come from, my home is a beautiful place and has many, many, many wonders to it, but there is a certain religious jealousy in the place. And so those who are marked by darker powers, regardless of their intent or the content of the character, are seen with, at best, derision, and worse, as embodiments of unremitting evil. So,
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite the first impression to fight against. I'd be lying if I said I didn't understand the feeling exactly.
I mean, isn't that what you are, though?
he's not.
No, no. An embodiment of evil, though.
No.
A demon or devil created the body that you are based on. I'm not saying you're evil. What you're made from does not determine who you are. I'm just saying that isn't that what you are made from, though? Here's the beauty of being religious: you don't have to be smart.
Does it have to be?
I know. Look at Brave as
Strikes
the
his chain.
example.
It's like, huh.
If you've got a tiefling whose significant other is a religious person, there is a certain amount of implication in his own beliefs there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, so you're saying that out of character or in character?